Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another video on this YouTube channel. I am Molinda Jae, and for the listeners out there on my podcast, that is Miss Unconventional Podcast, check it out on your favorite streaming platforms, and the links will be in the description down below. Welcome everybody, welcome back. I'm here to discuss another topic that is part of the self-discovery journey and also in part of social and cultural things. So the topic for today, the overall topic, as I said before, is about education, the state of the education. And the overall question that I want to ask you all is, how do you learn and how do you process things whenever you are learning a new subject, a new topic, all those sorts of things to tend to your daily lives or just building the skill. How do you learn? What is your preference of learning? Okay. And I'm going to break it down for you all in just a little bit. So, yes, let's get into these things. But first, I got to start with my J note. You already know as I'm going on this self-discovery journey, I try to do my due diligence to tend to self-care as well as, giving out the same vibe to you all. And it's important as of right now to not only tend to yourself, but also it's about building stability and structure in your life. So my J note for today, if you see me looking down, I have my notes. I'm the type of person that likes to write. Hint, I like to write my stuff down. That's another form of learning how you process things. So stay with me. Let's see. I'm trying to see where did I write it down? Where did I write this stuff down? Okay, I didn't write it down. Otherwise, I had a quote, but I didn't write it down, which that just puts me off guard, but that's part of me learning. All right. So coming up on this episode, before we move to the J note, is the state of the education. That's the main topic. The styles of learning, vocational versus high school learning, community college versus the four-year university. And I may do a 2-part series on there. I don't know. It just depends on how much I talk. I'm trying to stay on course whenever I do discussions because it's so broad, and I like to, and everybody's attention span is not the same how it is nowadays beforehand. So you just have to, make it plain and simple. And I'm the type of person that makes it plain and simple, but I like to have my little facts behind it to back up what I'm saying. All right. So with that being said, all right, the J note for today is shine. I pulled the shine card from my self-care deck. This is the self-care deck that I'm using. I pull a card every day just to see an overall feeling, not only for myself, but also for the collective as well. And also, please check out the self-care readings that I do. Those are collective, intuitive, guided readings. And if you just need like a little pick-me-up or see how you are, that's the type of things that I like to do. Not only see where I'm at, but see where other people are at as well, and what can we do collectively to help each other out the best way we can. So the shine card has came out, hence the waters being calm. I'm describing the picture for the listeners out there. So on the picture, it's a star that is shining bright in a starry sky. And also, the water is very calm as well. So whenever you're shining, it brings that effect to you. So on the back of the card, it says, don't dim your light. The world needs your unique talents and gifts. Shine brightly. Okay. So I think this is pertaining to myself, even though it's I pulled it for the collective. But yes, it's also hitting with me as well, because sometimes I do dumb myself down just a little bit for, just to, I don't know, y'all. I don't know how to explain it. It's just like how it is on this paper, on this card. I do sometimes dim my light when I'm around others, when I feel like I am not adequate enough to be on their level. But at the same time, I'm that type of person that, just naturally stuff comes to me, and whenever I put my mind into something, or whatever I'm doing something, I end up excelling. And that's just part of my self-discovery journey, not to dim my light and to shine brightly, because everybody has your unique qualities within them. All right, so the first base chakra, to clarify about the shine card, besides what it says, and the first chakra is the base chakra, and that is basically the foundation center of your for the chakra 7-point system. There are more chakra points, like your hands and your feet. Hint, hint. For the longest, I couldn't understand why women would go to the nail shops frequently and stuff like that. Okay, if you hear a noise, that's just the folks mowing the lawn out there. It's just the folks out here mowing the lawn. But yes, you do have points, pressure points in your hands and your feet, and it does tailor to your organs. So, and now that I'm aware of that, even though I subconsciously knew that, I do my due diligence to go to the nail shop and just get my feet done, because that is part of self-care and self-love, rewarding yourself. And there's no problem. And men, y'all could go out there too, get your feet done. You don't have to put no nail polish and stuff on there. I'm seriously, everybody needs to go and get their feet done, because it really does help with the flow of the blood flow that goes through your feet and your legs and the organs that are tailored towards those particular areas in your foot, hence reflexology. So that's a whole nother video that I can discuss if you feel like you want me to discuss it. Like I said, I'm just going on a tangent, but I'm just telling y'all the things that I learned. I want to be able to share with you all. I don't want to be the type of person that gatekeeps stuff that I already know. All right. But anyways, back to the base chakra card. It is the instinct. So it says, I trust that my instincts are correct, and I feel like my natural intuitive feelings guide me forwards. I know what I need to do and how to respond with wisdom to situations that come my way. I have an innate desire to be of service in life. As I tap into this feeling, I will know what service I am called to do. I believe in yourself. So believe in yourself and trust your instincts. Okay, trust your intuition. All right, so let's get back into the meat and potatoes. That ends the segment of the J note. Let's get into the meat potatoes of it all. All right. So the first topic that I would like to discuss within the state of education is the styles of learning. And I got this source from Grand Canyon University.edu. However, whenever I was obtaining my degree at the time, I did take some psychology courses because I do like studying people and how they behave and why they behave the way they do, such as myself as well. So, and I've already had some form of education of this, but I like to have the sources to back it up. All right. So the styles of learning, for one thing, there are plenty of styles of learning, but the main four that I'm going to talk about in this episode is the VARK model. And the VARK model is broken down to visual, auditory, reading and writing, and kinesthetic. All right, so my visual learners out there, they like to see, observe the things that are learning about. Some examples may be traditional whiteboard where the teacher is writing on the board of the information that they are about to get into for the particular day, or the death of the PowerPoints, as most college students say. PowerPoint presentations, you can visually see what is about to happen, what could be happening, or what has happened already. And the social media that I want to tailor towards for the visual learners, excuse me, are Instagram and Pinterest. Hence, Instagram, you're using imagery to grasp the people of what the context of a picture of the image that you're portraying out there or that you're putting out there. And for my Pinterest people out there, it also brings that aesthetic of beautiful DIYs and how-tos and stuff like that. Just small imagery of what the content contains, just like a thumbnail on YouTube too as well. You're grasping your audience of a catchy visual of the overall content that you're about to intake, those sorts of things. Those are the visual learners. The auditory learners, those are the people that like to hear and listen to lecture recording rather than taking notes. That's why I'm doing I have myself on here on the side for the podcasters that like to listen on the go on whatever information that I'm about to give out to them, as well as I'm bringing you the visual for the YouTube of people that like to see me and how I am portraying the information, viewing my body language and stuff like that. See, I'm already getting into what we're talking about today. And so yeah, the auditory learners, they like to, in order for them to process the information a little bit better, they want to initiate discussions. These are things that a teacher or mentor could do within their classroom to get their students to grasp the topic that they're talking about. So for the auditory people, they can the teacher can initiate discussions, debate, because they like to hear each other out of their opinions and be able to agree and disagree on whatever subject matter they're talking about. So the social media platform that I connected the auditory listeners to is Clubhouse. I have not made it to a point to Clubhouse because for one thing, there's a lot of people in there, depending on what topic that the person is talking about. But Clubhouse is a perfect example of the people that like to listen, or for like the auditory listeners out there. The next is the R in the VARK model, and it is for the reading and writing people, the learners who like to express themselves through writing, writing down the notes. This is for all the secretaries out there, assistants that like to write stuff down. like me, I like to write stuff down, as I did for this particular episode. See, I'm utilizing I'm giving what is supposed to give right now. So this will be your writers, your poets, your journalists, diaries, those sorts of things. And they like to actually go to the library and hold a book in their hand and actually read the pages physically. These are also your historians as well, that like to have documentation on what has transpired. So these are the folks, your reading and writing people that like to read and write. Those are your actual walking encyclopedias, if you might say, your actual search engines, just in case if all fails with technology. Those are your people that you want to reach out to when it comes to like gaining information with a quickness. You could either just go to the library and ask for the librarian to help you out, or you could just be your ask your friend that likes to read and write and be like, hey, do you have information on this and this and this? And they'll be like, yeah, sure, I got this. Those sorts of things. And the social media platform that I tailored towards the reading and writing people are the Reddit people, Twitter people, Facebook people, because everybody, most people, if not all people, like to put their feelings, well, they use those particular platforms to either form discussions as well as putting their life story on there, which is not good at all. And then also, just if something just come off the top of the head when it comes to Twitter, and you want to tweet it out and be like, let's see who all agrees with me or not. That's a form of the reading and writing learner. All right, and then lastly is the K in the VARK model, and that is the kinesthetic. And these are the people that learn by experiencing and doing, like the hands and body as learning instruments hands-on. So what kinesthetic people do, these are like your athletes, your dancers. These are people that like to learn based off on the job training, or learning the skill with either with their hands, or the kinesthetic learners, they just like to learn from doing hands-on projects. Okay, that's making it plain and simple. Athletes, dancers, this is how they learn from seeing somebody doing it, and then while they are instructed to do whatever game model or whatever position that they're doing in dancing, you're learning just by seeing someone doing it, and then you're executing the project yourself. Okay, it's practice makes perfect with the kinesthetic people. With this particular learning style, the majority, if not all, people of color, especially black people are kinesthetic learners. We like to learn based off, getting our hands dirty and learning from experience. This is how we like to process information. I myself, when it comes to learning, I am all the things. I like to see things, I like to hear it, I like to write it down, and I also do like to learn from actually executing the job that I want to do, or learning whatever skill that I want to do. I want to be able to do it myself. That way, practice makes perfect. Okay, so things that teachers can do is learn through movement, You can ask your students, like if you're reading a story and some kids are having a hard time grasping the topic, you can actually ask those kids to enact the character in the book, and they'll be able to, they should be able to execute the job. So anytime you're seeing kids around the class that are like busybodies and stuff like that and can't sit still for a long period of time, more likely they are the type of learners that are kinesthetic, and they would like to learn the lesson. They preferably like to learn the lesson with hands-on activity or being utilized to learn the activity in another form. All right. So that concludes that segment of the VARC model. That's just the start. I feel like I needed to, in order to explain the education topic and how you learn, or how do you think you are process information. I'm giving you the basics of how you are learning with the VARC model, because that is the most common model that, excuse me, most psychologists and especially Board of Education should be, doing. I'm just saying. But anyway, next topic is vocational, aka VOTEC, versus regular high school learning. All right, so vocational training, and I got this particular definition. Just Google it. It's already there. But the source comes from collinsdictionary.com. Vocational training is skills that are training and skills that are learned by training and need for a particular job or profession. For instance, the occupations you learn with some basic training or on the job in the lieu of college degrees, such as co-op with industries to assist with tuition. That way, whenever you graduate college, you have to at least you have the experience before you want to move forward with that job. So an article that I came across that my mother had recommended me reading before I produced this podcast as well as this YouTube episode is it came from an article off of, let me pull it up, you guys. It came from cnbc.com, but it came from a Facebook post from them. And the article was done by Stella Soon, and it was about Sheila, an entrepreneur. Well, it was talking about education in general, but the main topic it was saying, can't afford university, try this instead of self-made entrepreneur that is worth 820 million. So Stella, the person who wrote the article, she had interviewed Sheila Johnson, and she is the, excuse me, hold on, I'm scrolling down. She is the founder and CEO of Salamander Hotels and Resort, as well as before she had obtained that, she serves on the board of Parsons for the New School for Design and the Leadership Council of Harvard Kennedy School Center for Public Leadership. Oh my gosh, that is a mouthful. That is a mouthful. But she also is the co-founder. She also was the co-founder of Black Entertainment TV, aka BET, Miss Sheila Johnson. And she was stating within this article that people put so much emphasis on education, like you got to go to college, you got to go to college, you got to go to college. However, whenever going to college is almost like, well, do you got that college money? All right, do you got that money on deck, as Cardi B say? But like I said, there is an alternative for it. And as she stated, there is definitely an alternative for it. she states that if you can't afford to go to college, either try a community college or a vocational and start building a business from there. And start building a business from there. That's if you want to become an entrepreneur in that realm. But if you just want to attain some sort of degree and then be able to get a job, at least start out with a community college and a vocational training center. And an example for jobs that you can degrees that you can obtain to get those certain occupation jobs are hairstylists, barbers, electricians, plumbers. What else? I had it on my list right here. Emergency medical field, tech, mechanics, home economics, wood shop for carpentry, driver's ed whenever you want to become a driver's education teacher, culinary, all those sorts of things. And those jobs are lucrative, and then you can whenever you have gained enough experience for those jobs, you can branch out and become a business owner with not only with that particular degree and training and experience that you had, but you can make money on the side as well. And when it comes to high school and their curriculum and how it's set up nowadays, they have it set up where depending on what school you're at, depending on where you're located at, now they have it to where they tailor it towards how the colleges are doing it, like career path. There it is, career path. That's what it is. And then when it comes to high school, they have it, and I'm seeing it from experience from my brothers graduating from high school. You have till sophomore year to figure out what particular career path that you want to continue on into doing, because they're trying to make the transition a lot better when it comes to transition from high school to college, from college to the job force. That's how that realm is, the way it's going. However, when it comes to doing that, you also have to think about how schools are maneuvering when it comes to resources. And it also depends on what area you are at as well. Some schools may have access to more stuff than other schools may have access to stuff. And I'm like, why can't we all be on the united front and have those, the same, all schools adapt the same format? And I guess depending on which location that you are at, you can be able to pursue that venture a lot more if you relocate in this area or you study in that area or not. Compared to when you're in college, you have to your junior year, really by the end of your sophomore year, to figure out what major that you want to continue in, especially if you're an undeclared student. And I was undeclared until I was in my junior year in college, because I feel like that was the safest route for me, because when you're in college, you want to have the college life and you want to experience everything, the parties, the social life, the Greek life, and everything. However, when it comes to like knowing what you want to do after college, is a whole nother thing, because majority of the time when people graduate, they have a hard time finding jobs or getting into the job that they would like, and it takes a little bit longer. It's not even there's not even in my opinion, from my experience, it's not even close to where it's an easy transition to get into the workforce when you graduate from college into the workforce. It's almost like another gap year, especially when you can't find a job, or the job is considering someone else over you based off of whatever agenda they have. And it feels like you have to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to know somebody to be able to obtain a job nowadays. And to a certain degree, I don't like that, because it almost just is just like, well, what if that other person was a better choice candidate than the person that you have been recommended to by your coworker or a friend of a friend? What if that person that actually applied for the position was like the better option for that position, other than the person that was like, hey, I know so and so, and they need a job, and I would like to recommend them for this job position. And majority of the time, they don't have experience in that position. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. Most of the time, they don't have experience in that position. So it really doesn't make any sense at all. So, yeah. When it comes to high school and vocational, as I look back, I wish I would have pursued the vocational route a little bit more. I remember when I was in high school, they had culinary, they had wood shop, they had mechanic. I don't think they had a cosmetology department, but they had vocational training in there. I wish I would have went that route instead of just being the guinea pig of a whole nother curriculum. IB International Baccalaureate. It had its ups and downs with that particular curriculum. I don't know. It could have been better, but at the same time, it was just like, we're gonna guinea pig these people and see how far it goes, sorts of thing. Because about 2 years later, they ended the program. It wasn't too many people interested in that route, because other people were taking the vocational as well as the college credit route, which was the best route, to say the least. So, to pull it all together, we're going to move on to the next subject, which is community college versus four-year college. With community college, you have small teacher-student ratio. You have advisors that are willing to help you. That's if you develop a good enough relationship. And when I mean relationship, I mean like a good enough help me get into the classes that I need to, that way I can graduate on time type of relationship, platonic relationship. And also, it's better to go there first to get your core classes out the way. Versus a 4-year, I feel like if you want to go the 4-year route, you want to go for a profession like finance, engineering, law, social work, medical, as far as like being a specific doctor, like an anesthesiologist or an actual surgeon doctor. I feel like that's the route to take if you plan on like pursuing an actual profession. Because if you're going to school just to, study carpentry or whatever, just go to a 2-year, guys. Just go to a 2-year in a vocational training and call it a day. I promise you'll save the cost and the heartache. And also with 4-year university, it's expensive. Of course, there's nepotism that gets involved with going to a 4-year university. Hence, especially when it comes to the athletic department. And when it comes to like getting the classes that you really need to graduate, having a good advisor at a 4-year university compared to a community college, it's a dime a dozen. You're gonna have those that will actually help, and then you're gonna have those that be like, okay, I only do email, don't call me, don't come by because I'm not going to answer. Those type of advisors. And yes, there are types of advisors like that out there. My brothers have experienced one of those type of advisors. She had gave she had gave the rundown and was like, I don't call me, don't text me. You can walk in, but you're not going to get too far. And if you need to reach out to me, email me. And whenever they do email her, and that goes for a lot of students as well that had that same advisor, it's like a waiting list. And then all of a sudden she gets overwhelmed. And why? Because she's not doing her job. She's on TikTok majority of the time, looking at TikTok instead of doing her job while she's on the clock. Yes, there are those type of advisors. So be on the lookout for those, and be able to weed out the advisors that are not helping versus the ones that are trying to help and actually trying to get the kids in and out of school effectively. Yes, I said it. I said what I said, and I meant what I said. Okay. So, on to the next, the next segment. I think I'm gonna save that for part 2 when it comes to the athletes, because that's a whole nother topic when it comes to going to college. When you're an athlete, I say to say the least. I did not further my athletic career when I went to college. My focus in college was to get in and get out at all costs, because yes, I played in all those sorts of things, but I felt like, in my opinion, since I was so busy in my high school career, tending to my community, cheerleading, all of that, like when it came to college, it was the complete opposite. I wanted to learn the material and get out. Learn the material, get out. Maybe get in a couple of social groups here and there, socialize, and then get out. Okay? That was my motto in college, because I lived my college years and my high school years. But I mean, I wouldn't trade it for all, because that's my experience. I mean, I can tell you a whole boatload of stories when it comes to that. But yes, I did live my college years through my high school years. So you go figure. And to conclude this, I got this from usnews.com, and it's 10 ways that community college is better. The first is money. Of course, it's expensive to go to college. The costs are cut in half for community college than it is for a 4-year university. And I'll do a separate episode on breaking it down when it comes to 10 ways that community college is better. I feel like people need to reevaluate on not only what they really want in life, but also how they are going to bring some sort of income in their house based off the experience that they encounter in school, or based off the skills and the knowledge that they got in school. Let's see. Yes, money is the first thing. The costs are cut in half whenever you go to community college. The academic, now they have it to where, like the community colleges, they're getting it. They're getting it. So when it comes to the academic level, the flexibility, some community colleges, they have it to where you can learn at your own pace, while others, they still are on the same curriculum balance, and it's really up to you to to figure out how you want to maneuver your academic schedule. Number 3 is financial aid. A lot of people are not aware of federal student loans. I know you don't want to do loans or whatever, but it helps to get through school. With the federal student loans, students have to be enrolled half-time. That's 6 hours, so that's at least 2 classes. Compared to 12 hours, that's 4 classes in FourYear University. You have to be enrolled at least half time to get federal student loans to help balance out, or excuse the noise, y'all. It's my neighbor running water. My gosh. But yes, go to fastfa.gov and fill out the federal student loan. That way you can get some money and be able to cover those costs, those classes, books, tuition, all of that. Number 4 is school life balance. Compared to FourYear University, about 60% of community college attend part-time, and it's a good option for people that really just don't know how they're going to survive within the first 2 years of FourYear University. So if you are unsure of what to do, just go ahead and go to a community college or vocational training. That way you can figure out at your own pace of what you really want to do. Number 5 is STEM education opportunities. Demand. It is a high demand for employees nowadays, especially when technology is evolving, and I am a part of the STEM education person. Yes, I do have an engineering degree, but it's like an applied engineering degree, but it's still engineering, y'all. It's still engineering. And then also number 6 is transfer agreements. Now the key to this, because it has worked for me, is whenever you are selecting the school that you want to go to, especially if you're trying to go to a 4-year college after you have survived the 2-year college stage, and you know for sure that you really want to do, is that figure out which schools are in collaboration with each other when it comes to transfer agreements, such as making sure your credits transfer effectively without any problems, and to make sure that you're not repeating class. I can do a whole nother segment when it comes to transfer agreements. So yes, be on the lookout for that when it comes to attending a community college. And that's if you want to excel to a 4-year college after either graduating or doing your core classes in a 2-year college. Number 7, thank you, Jesus. Number 7 is the elements of traditional college. Of course, everybody wants to experience the college life and see how they maneuver with different people from different backgrounds, personalities, behavioral, all sorts of things. But just take that in consideration whenever you are about to go to college, or if you're in college already. Number 8 is personal attention. In a community college, the personal interaction, the one-on-one interaction is way better than the 4-year university, because the teacher-student ratio is completely different. In community colleges, it's at least 30 students in a class with one teacher, and you'll be able to contact your teacher a lot faster, a lot quicker, and they're a lot more available. Not saying that the teachers aren't available at 4-year universities, but they have the availability to work around your schedule and be able to schedule a session or a conference if you have any questions or concerns. And then number 9, the professional certificates. Community colleges are having it to where you can attain some professional certificates. They'll either last a year or 2 years, I think 5 years at the most for some. But some of the professional certificates that I have gotten so far, it's within the 2 to 4 year range. Okay. And then lastly, online classes. Both 4-year and 2-year classes have expanded to online. However, with 2-year, there are training professions or professors that are on standby and waiting for you to take advantage of and utilize those resources and they are, as I stated in the number 8, they have a lot more availability compared to the teachers in a 4-year university. They're overwhelmed by at least 140 to 150 students. So yeah, you go figure. And sometimes that may be overall, and sometimes that is half of the number. But overall, the 4-year university professors, they have to encounter hundreds and hundreds of students compared to community college teachers. The highest that they're going to encounter with students is at least about 50 to 100, depending on how many sessions they have. So yes, that concludes this segment of the educational realm and how the education is changing little by little, bit by bit. And it's just something to consider whenever you have little ones, or you want to go back to school, or is trying to go to school. Just taking consideration that, community colleges, junior colleges, VOTEC, they are really not that bad. And to say the least, they are the best decision that you can ever make. Not to knock down the 4-year universities and all, but far as like saving money and just be able to have that mindset of I can do if I want to do what I want to do for a passion. Like, say for me, my passion is artistry. However, when it comes to like actual job wise, I do take in fascination on how things are built. So that's why I obtained an engineering degree. And so far, all the jobs that I have utilized with that particular job is one so far. But however, with that type of degree, I can fluctuate in any industry that I want to. It's all about me selling myself, branding myself to where I can fit within each industry and how I can utilize my degree to make that industry better. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like, share, and subscribe if you are viewing this on YouTube. Check out my first video that I did when it came to my degree. I go in a little bit in depth of what classes I took with that degree and how I can utilize that degree. And comment down below if you want to hear a little bit more about the educational topic. I'm a very big advocate with education, but I like education to be utilized with day-to-day life influences. Okay, that way everybody can have some sense of peace and well-being and stability when it comes to taking care of themselves and their family. And also, if you're listening on the podcast, download the episode so you can listen to it on your spare time. Leave a review and follow all social media platforms with this particular podcast, which is Miss Unconventional Podcast on Facebook. Be sure to like the page and join the conversation, as well as follow me on Instagram as well. Same tag. And with that being said, I hope you have a great day. Protect your energy. And I'll see you guys in the next video as well as the next episode. Bye.